Radio 2CC.
Thanks, Chris. Chris Bowen, thank you very much for your address. Tim Shaw, Radio 2CC, Canberra. Talkback Radio's been very busy since the budget, and particularly in Budget in Reply. One of my listeners noted that Bill Shorten, your leader, mentioned the word millionaire 14 times on Monday in 13 minutes. One of my listeners is a panel beater by trade, and he's an Aussie millionaire. And what he wants to ask you, under a Labor government, is it okay to be an Aussie millionaire? And he cheekily asks, are you an Aussie millionaire?
I don't believe so. I do own property in Sydney. I live in a Sydney house, but I have a mortgage to go with it, so I don't think that really qualifies. Yes, we want Australian millionaires. Of course we do. We want Australians being happy and prosperous, and we want people paying their fair share as they go. And I think people on low incomes are happy to pay their fair share if they know that everybody else is as well. And I think people on high incomes are often happy to pay their fair share. You know, I've been struck by the number of people since we announced many of our policies, negative gearing and superannuation in particular, who've come up to me in airports and boardrooms and walking down streets in capital cities, not so much in my electorate, but elsewhere, saying, I'm a massive beneficiary of the current tax arrangements and I'm really glad you're reforming them. You know, I negatively gear, I get massive superannuation benefits, and it's about time somebody dealt with it because it's not right. I've been struck by a number of people who do that. And people, you know, if you explain the need for reforms, explain the fairness, explain the philosophy behind them, sometimes, you know, it's argued that the age of reform's dead and, you know, politicians can't deliver reforms. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You have to. If you're honest about it, you're upfront about your plans, you explain them, you argue the case. That's what we've been doing for 2 years, almost 3 years now on tax reform. Going out there and arguing the case and saying to people, you might not like all of this, but I do tell you why we've got to do it. You know, you might want to negatively gear 10 properties and none of them are new. But let me tell you how that's not good for the country. And let me tell you how we've got to change things. You might really like the fact that your superannuation is entirely tax-free after you turn 60, but the population's ageing and we can't afford that anymore. People are receptive to that, I find, if you're honest about it, pre-election. Don't spring it on them post-election. That's what we've been doing. That's what we'll continue to do.